People with perspectives on public policy, policing, pedagogy, and most particularly parenting have become increasingly compelled to educate themselves about a sphere of influence loosely defined by Ofcom as online spaces dedicated to men's issues. Collectively, men of the Manosphere, Louis Theroux's Inside the Manosphere, and Ross Kemp's Lost Boys, Deadly Men offer significant insights into this murky and much maligned world. And so the purpose of this presentation is to condense some of their most significant revelations into 6 important lessons to be learnt from spending time in the sphere of men. There are sexist grifters in the Manosphere exploiting vulnerable people for their own financial gain.
Because I openly say I don't give a fuck and I'm doing it for money.
Why not try and be a good person?
If I'd just done good things, I would never have really blown up on social media in the first place.
Much of the Manosphere is made up of relatively uncontroversial comedians and podcasters.
Much of the Manosphere is made up of relatively uncontroversial comedians and podcasters who broadcast about women, fitness and wealth to a mainly male audience.
Lesson 3. The Manosphere has a symbiotic relationship with the femosphere.
But I was also thinking about the experience of being on Fresh and Fit and the symbiotic relationship between Myron and the Instagram models and OnlyFans girls that were his guests as they used each other to raise their profiles.
For the uninitiated, the femosphere has been described as a dark, toxic and rapidly growing corner of the internet, and is sometimes framed as Andrew Tate for girls, promoting post-feminist and anti-progressive perspectives, sometimes explicitly calling for women to opt out of traditional dating, refuse sex, or treat men transactionally. Core groups include OnlyFans entrepreneurs, dark feminine energy influencers, pink pill enthusiasts, 4B isolationists, and femcels, or female involuntary celibates. The Manosphere has a lot of positive things to offer boys and young men.
One of the things that stood out to me was the very common theme of self-improvement. As somebody myself who is a big advocate for self-development, I completely understood why they went there.
Before I found Tate, there was nothing good. Like, it was just lonely, depression, all that sort of stuff. And I found a spark. Like, something was lit for me. Wait, I can run. Like, I can push myself in something. I can feel pride. I'd never felt pride before.
People like Louis Theroux, James Blake, and Ross Kemp operate from inside the Matrix.
Does the term Matrix mean anything to you?
The system, higher powers, the colluding powers at the top of the world that want to keep everyone down, keep everyone broke, keep the slave mindset going, yeah.
Is that real? Is that a real thing?
Of course it's real.
The concept of cancel culture draws attention to the reality that teenage boys lurking in their mother's basements are not the only ones to be impacted by pressure from their peers. For example, Louis Theroux recently lost a major sponsor of his content because it was deemed to have breached policy on politically sensitive or controversial subjects. This observation is not intended as a criticism. It simply highlights the tightrope that documentarians must navigate when expressing their personal views on politically sensitive or controversial subjects. There is a lot of misinformation about the Manosphere promoted in mainstream media.
So effectively, I have got everything wrong about incels. I think that they kill lots of girls globally and in the United Kingdom. I think they're a threat, a permanent threat to the security of this country. I think there are hundreds of thousands of them. I think that they are generally white and right-leaning. So all those preconceptions that I have are wrong.
Many of them, yes, and it's not your fault, Ross, because if you were to just pay attention to the media that is most often put out there about incels, it often espouses exactly the stereotypical depiction that you bought into at the beginning.
When they talk about misinformation on the internet, this is what they're talking about.
Toxic influencers are not the problem. They are problem people. They're not the problem. The problem is society that's caused the vacuum into which they've got traction.
So do you think those negative kind of portrayals of men are pushing young boys towards those influencers.
Yeah, and that I can see that clearly through the research that I've carried out.
Are we too scared to have this conversation?
100% throughout society, we're really scared to have this conversation.
Why?
People think that
It's offensive?
it's offensive, but not just offensive, that it's damaging to women, that we're sympathising with men, that we're empathising with men. So people won't go near it. The only way we're ever going to move forward is to have these very difficult conversations.
So add the weird chord progression and do the weird key change, call men stupid in every possible way that you can, and don't worry if one person likes it or a million people like it.
Yeah.